Oh, hi. Checking in again. Not thrilled with how I've been recently. Wow, the sky is pretty today. Let's see if we can get that. I think it just looks like a gray line of light coming in. It's real interesting, actually. There's a reason my wife took a shot from basically the front to the tree line as her I don't know, as the thing she kind of used, I guess, on whatever, I don't know, one of the two sites she was using for her tarot. But first of all, my avoidant behavior has been increasing, if that's possible. I mean, sure, you see me playing games, that's avoidant behavior. I mean, I'm really struggling. I finally got a letter from the police where I can go down and pick up her stuff, but I have to call and I have to set up an appointment. And immediately the complexity starts to kick in with, I have to understand what the weather is going to be on the day I'm going to walk down there. I probably have to, try to arrange some plastic bags inside whatever backpack I'm going to carry. I'm not sure how much of her stuff they have. They gave me a list, and the only thing that I think is going to be of any size is her laptop, so I should be able to do that in a normal backpack, thus avoiding my big one. I also have the damn lawyers thing coming up soon, and, I'm still, of course, avoiding getting anything done at the house. I tried cleaning the roof the way I did last year, and I just couldn't. It wasn't working very well. Now, maybe it will with the hose combination, whatever. Because I don't remember how well just the squeegee thing worked on it on its own. Like, I have the... But I'm going to have a hard time getting the moss out from it. And also, although presumably I don't need someone to hold the ladder, that was something that helped me, at least emotionally, towards getting up as high as I did. Because I have a hell of a fear of heights. And I mean, it's not a huge ladder. I'm just using the big step ladder as opposed to the real ladder that, real humans would be able to use. I mean, if I leaned the real ladder at the right angle, I could get everywhere, and it would just be a hard job, but I could do it. But beyond that, I was supposed to go shopping this week, and I did not this weekend. Part of that is the dancing. I feel like I've kind of fetishized it. This was the first week back. Maybe that's an excuse. Maybe things will get better for me. But I feel like maybe I expected too much, even though I know not to expect anything. I'm sure I had a good time, but I had way too much to drink, and spent Saturday. I was well enough to do things, but I just didn't fucking want to. Is kind of the issue. And if I had gone early Saturday, I could have gone shopping, but then it started to rain. And then today it's supposed to rain. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain. I don't know. I knew I really should have gone yesterday, but part of the thing is I don't really need all that much. I've got too much food of a lot of types. But the things that I need, I actually need to go the place I go for big shopping. And then there's other worries, but like they never have the bread that I want on Saturdays, which has started to cause me real problems because I started going shopping more and more on Saturdays. I'm afraid to check my email now. I managed to do it maybe once a day or so, but yeah, I mean, I got more news on my mom, and I just shunting that aside. I basically spent Saturday between sleeping and reading, um, doing nothing else. I even had trouble doing sort of the flash game that I'm still playing. I didn't do any of this gaming. I didn't do anything else, and I maybe made a mistake when I wasn't very drunk. I ended up trying to convince somebody to do something, and now, like, that's yet another burden that I'm afraid of. Like, just because of the complexity of everything. Like, the idea of adding another disruption. Now, it's a good idea, right? It would get me out for a walk with another human to speak to, and that presumably should be helpful, especially since I've been kind of fumbling around. Like, I feel like my avoidance patterns were working to a certain extent and not making me miserable, but yesterday, and to some extent today, and of course it could be, being hungover or whatever, I've just felt more depressed, which isn't what the avoidance patterns are supposed to do. But I am entering into these kind of patterns that I've been in before, which is, oh, maybe I can be happy and say fuck it all, or at least, like, ignore the big problems, or I can curl up in a ball and sob to myself about them. And I don't mean that literally, but I mean, it might as well be. And there's so much that I have to do, and I just, until it becomes an absolute emergency, it's almost impossible for me to even make a movement in the edge of things. And then when I do, I regret it, and oh God, I just don't know. I just don't know. I mean, it would just. One thing I was thinking about was actually the sort of, why am I so repulsed by sort of, I don't know, the idea of dying. I mean, again, it's right, all logic says that's what I should have done long, long ago. But there's almost I don't know. I don't know what it is. I had words for this on Saturday, but I didn't have the energy to speak them. And now it's like they've drifted away. I had a reason that made sense at the time. Something. Yeah, I don't know. It's not like I'm all that terribly worried, I think, about any effect I'd have on anyone anymore. I think that would not be that terrible. Oh, and but it's almost like even know what I'm afraid of. Afraid of nothingness? Afraid of somethingness? It's very, very, it's very hard. And it's like, I just, part of it is, I think, this kind of, wow, if I just die and then I can't look and see what happens, that's going to kind of suck. But I'm not sure I want to know what happens after I die in terms of like, how long my body would be rotting here or shit like that. I am really not sure I really, I need to know these things and particularly desire them and, But that sort of felt like part of it. And it's not really a curiosity about what would happen after I live. It's more a worry that I won't find out what happens after I die, maybe. I'm not sure. A very, very odd thing. It's like I don't really have a lot of curiosity. I understand what's going to happen, in my life going forward and how bad it's going to be. But it's sort of like, I'm not sure I can accept wow, I won't be able to find out what happens after I'm dead, but I wouldn't anyway if that's the case. So why am I so curious? Why am I feeling stubborn about this? And again, it's so hard to really kind of lock in and say this is the what and why, because like many things, it's a tangled mess. My fear of heights, I like to say I'm afraid that I'm going to throw myself off, but I don't think that's the only thing in play. I think there's something more primal than that, just like something that got embedded in me very early. I had a couple of bad falls when I was very, very young, and apparently had no fear of heights at that point. And, it may just be locked into me in some sort of psychological way. Obviously not, it seems almost natural that animals would not accept their own death. They'll fight every moment for it because we're programmed for that. And so this could again be something more primal that I just have no way of touching, and that kind of knowing how impossible it is for me leads me to wonder how the hell people are strong enough to do it, to willingly do it. And the funniest thing with my wife is she was not accepting of an unwilling death. Like, it almost had to be. Like, I don't know what would have happened differently, but she was terrified of, doing dangerous things that might end up getting her killed or something. And I've talked about this before, yet. I don't know exactly what went through her head. I don't even know all that much about certain things, but it feels almost like, that Roman or Japanese view, which, obviously this was an acceptable and embraced thing in certain cultures. And it can't be just biologically something we fight against. It's something that is more believable. Anyway, the long and short of it is, I've been struggling the last couple of weeks, really, and I guess I thought that dancing would be the cure, and it's not. It really isn't. But it's also like not the fault either. So I don't know. It's been awfully rainy this year. Anyway, let's set this up. Well, it's funny, we haven't gotten a lot of water. It's been awfully cloudy, I guess. I don't know. Odd to me. Let's send this up for whatever value that is.